in the statistics of 20,000 Black Americans dying every year from sugar diabetes, another 15,000 dying from complications from obesity, another 12,000 from cancer of the lung, another 8,000 from cancer of the pancreas, another 6,000 from this, another right? So my head begins to spin. Then by the time you factor in our single-headed households, our divorce rate, our quote-unquote illegitimate children, our teenage pregnancies, our abortion rate, our incarceration, our juvenile delinquency, they're putting it all together and as if to say, oh, because of the disproportionate percentage of you all who are all affected by these things, this is the evidence of your inherent inferiority. But when I ask the question, what's the cause and what's the cure, they say they don't know. And I'm saying, if you don't know, I'm in the wrong place because I need to know. I made a commitment. I knew at 5 that I should be progression of my people. I knew at 5. Now here I am 20.
Yeah.
And my mother's working really hard to pay out-of-state tuition, all of that. She paid for every dime of my room and board, this and that. I got no scholarships to go to school.
Yeah.
No grants. I would have gotten a scholarship, 4-year scholarship, had I gone to Spelman, though. But Spelman didn't have on-campus housing. I only applied to 2 schools because I really didn't want to go. All right? But here I'm finding that you all think that you are inherently superior to us, and you're using this as your evidence, but you leave a trail of bodies everywhere you go.
Yeah.
That's not me making stuff up. That's your history.
Yep.
All right, so there is no way in hell we could be inferior to you because we're not murderers and liars and ambassadors. We're not the ones who are creating these atomic bombs and threatening the whole of humanity.
Yeah.
All right, but the issue for us is still realizing that our Blackness is not our salvation.
That's really important. That's huge. We've literally hinged our salvation on our Blackness as if we're going to be forgiven and receive our salvation because of what we've endured.
And there's no, and so this is why I'm saying that law is an inherent part of existence. It does not depend upon anybody to agree with it. Justice is an inherent part of existence. It does not depend upon a jury of your peers determining from the lack of evidence or their opinion or what you look like or how you make them feel.
Yeah.
To be the dispensers of justice. No, justice is an inherent part of our reality. Perfection is an inherent part of existence. We are perfectly and divinely designed, and then we've been taught to deny perfection.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, no, at this particular point in time, our salvation from what? From sickness, illness, disease, and death, from obesity, heart disease, diabetes, stupidity, insanity, butchery, pharmacology, surgeries, all of what we're dealing with is going to come from your respecting your inherent perfection.
Yeah.
That life has gifted you. That absolute and supreme intelligence that blazes that sun and has the world spinning is the evidence of how blessed we each are with each and every breath and every beat of our heart. And how dare us come to a point where we do not have any regard for ourselves.
Right.
Or have any sense of responsibility.
Yep. Or correcting it.
And so I'm saying, and have been saying, since I came out of college in June of 1979, my mother, I got my last allowance on June 1st. I graduated June 6th.
Okay.
My mother followed her commitment to go into the ministry. All right, this is New Thought Christianity, Unity School of Christianity, Hillside Chapel and Truth, where the late Dr. Barbara Blake King was there. Same thought.
Okay.
This graduating class out of Detroit had at least 14 ministers. This was the largest group of Africans in the diaspora to get degreed by this system of religious thought.
Okay.
I was at that graduation, and as soon as they turned their tassels, the corks start flying, the meat start carving, the cigarettes start lighting up and everything. I said, Mama, these people did not give you any support in getting over your vices.
Yeah.
Well, it's not what you put into your mouth that defiles you. It's what you allow to come from you. I said, Mama, these people gave you no support for getting over your vices. Now, there's a book that my husband had called The United States and the Jews. I just opened it up, and it's a small book. And it says, we will sow the people in vice so that they are no longer connected to their spiritual help.
Mm.
What are the vices? When the law, the natural law is self-preservation. So everything in existence exalts a full effort in its living, does nothing to undermine itself, knows its food, excretes its waste, knows its kind, perpetuates itself, and will respond when it senses that its life is being threatened. How do we know our behavior has been modified? Because we don't do what other intelligences do.
At all.
We are laying up with those ones who are undermining us. It's the alcohol, it's the tobacco, it's all of the garbage that they have. I was in Michael's hobby shop one day, and I picked up a bag of Skittles. They didn't have Skittles when I was a child. I read the bag ingredients, and it's just colors.
Chemistry.
That's all it was.
Colors
I'm
and
like,
chemistry.
Tavon risked his life for a bag of Skittles and an iced tea. But this is legal.
Yeah.
So the system does not absolve us of duty, obligation, and responsibility in the exaltation of life.
Right. Let's back up for a second, because you started your lifestyle shift and change and became vegan in 1978. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What inspired that? Because I want to lead to another question.
All of those statistics and them saying, oh, well, we don't know the cause and we don't know the cure, but because of affirmative action, you're both black and female.
Gotcha.
You can get paid for doing the research. And of course, we can show you how to slant your research, your study, to prove whatever it is you're hypothesizing. And then based upon the applicability of your research to science or to medicine or intelligence or whatever, then you can continue to get paid.
Got you. And so I asked that question because when you do your research and you start to see the civil rights movement, you start to see this revolutionary movement around food as well too within our community. And you see this popping up of a Dr. Layla Africa. You see a popping up of a Dr. Sabi, Dr. R.S. Latham, all during this 60s, 70s era. And so it makes me think that during that era, that was a time that we were having an awakening to some extent.
It's like the light was flooding the planet.
Yeah.
The light was flooding the planet.
Yeah. And the powers that be saw that the light was flooding, and that not only was the light flooding for us, that we were sharing that light with the younger generation of, our counterparts as well too. And they were going along with the light as well too.
Right.
And so as we start to see this manifest, and I think the reason why I want to bring that up is because a lot of people think like this whole idea of not eating meat and being vegan is a new movement that
Right.
started in 2018 when the documentary What the Health came out.
Right.
And so I just think it's really important to kind of rewind, because now you're moving forward past that and you get to see what happens to you and how you evolve spiritually, physically, emotionally as a result of making that choice.